Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 12 of our Minnesota Twins rebuild here on Out of the Park Baseball 27. If you did not watch last episode where we play in the World Series against the Dodgers, highly implore you go watch it. It has quite possibly the greatest single performance in the history of baseball. In game seven, whether it was a player on our team or a player on the Dodgers, who can say? I'll talk about it here in a few. It's really a great series. It had everything from extra innings to shutouts to multi home run games. It was a great series. Did not expect to make the World Series in year one. Didn't expect to make the playoffs in year one, but we benefited from, while a competitive AL Central, not the strongest. We won the division. We were 10 games above 500. Royals, Guardians, Tigers close behind, White Sox in the tank. I think counting on an equally, you know, parity heavy, less so top heavy division next year is a bit of a fool's game. But just a quick recap of the World Series for those who watched. Depressingly, we lost it in 7 games. Um, and again, as I have said this whole time, we were 10 games above 500. The Dodgers were 50. That is a 5-0, folks, above 500. They were top three in almost every offensive category. Like, they're the best team in baseball, and we took them to 7. It was a really good series. Annoyingly, it had many blowouts, but overall, really good. I think the clear highlight for us, though, is winning game 5, 6-5, walking off the Dodgers at home. Great moment for the fans at home. Imagine it happens in real life. The scenes. I did have to pitch 7 bullpen arms. Not expected, but here we are. So happy with that, and just overall great win. But I think, if any of you watch that episode, you know that the game that got away was game 6. And I said going in, like, we had to win games 5 and 6 because we were definitely going to lose game 7 because we had McAble, they had Shohei Ohtani. And unfortunately, we were up big in the 9th inning. We were up by 3, brought in our rested closer, Taylor Rogers, and he gets destroyed. Gives up a walk, 4 hits, all 3 runs earned. Just complete and total collapse from a closer who had been pretty good this year. I know I went through it last episode, but he only had 4 blown saves all year. And for a closer, I'm taking that. That's less than 1 blown save a month. Really happy with that. Though, as I did point out, he only had 1 blown save up until late August. He had a second one on August 23? 19th. It's very hard to scroll this over. And then again on the 13th of September, and then the 22nd, and then obviously the blown save in the playoffs. So he had been great, like insanely dependable for us all year. And it is unfortunate that one of his worst outings came in game 6 of the World Series. As you can tell, he's currently a free agent. We did not elect to bring him back. We'll see how things shake out with free agency in our bullpen. I'm not opposed to a reunion, but it would not be in the closer role. So that is just something to keep in mind. And then, as I said before, the greatest performance ever in baseball was Shohei Ohtani in this game. He hit the solo home run to give the Dodgers their only run of the game and also pitched a no hitter, 12 Ks in game 7 of the World Series. Like, if this were to happen in real life, it would be he's in the Hall of Fame by midnight. And it really sucked because Mick Abel pitched great. 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, only 2 Ks. And then Bailey Ober did great in 2 innings. He got 3 Ks, didn't allow a hit or a walk. Justin Tapa did really well, but unfortunately, our bats were just ice cold. Like Walker Jenkins walked twice. Everyone else, no hits, no walks, a lot of Ks. Very, very disappointing because, ironically, it was a pretty winnable game. Our lineup just fell and crushed. Also, what a boring final comment from my manager in here. We just didn't play enough to win. We just didn't make the big plays like they did. What a stupid thing to say. Anyway, but nonetheless, made the World Series. We'll take that and like it. In terms of our budgets, we have $25.5 million available, 43 and a half money for extensions. I am going to adjust the scouting and development budget, and this is the off season to do it because, to be frank, like, we have money to burn. So we're going to up that by a decent bit. I would like to also go in here, make sure that is how I want. I don't know why this is 0. It shouldn't be 0. Maybe it doesn't propagate until the actual signing period begins. But just in case, we'll put that in there. All right, so this is now our total available money. I might actually drop that down a touch just to get a little bit more back. All right, and then we'll go from there in terms of if I need to move any of these figures. So, last episode at the end, I kind of went over a brief plan for how we're going to try to improve the team for next year. I have made one trade since we left off, and it's something I talked about doing, which is very simply I've traded Trevor Larnach in division to the Detroit Tigers. There's really 2 reasons I did this trade. One, he didn't really have a home defensively. He had a really good arm in right, 2.7, but his zone rating was poor. Range wasn't great. He was even worse in left with a terrible arm. Like, he really could only DH. And don't get me wrong, his ratings are fine. I mean, he's above average and good at everything, which is why he led the American League in RBIs with 106. But he also had a 311 on base and completely disappeared in the playoffs. Had like one good game against the Dodgers, didn't shower himself in glory all that much, and I think we will benefit from giving some other guys playing time in the outfield. So Larnach has been traded to the Tigers. You may have spotted who we brought in already, but folks, Framber Valdez is your newest member of the Minnesota Twins. In real life, if the Tigers did this deal, I would riot and never order Little Caesars pizza again. But in game, the AI's logic is very simple. The Tigers just missed free agency, and Valdez is making $36.5 million. For anyone wondering, in this universe, they extended Tarek Skubal with a 7-year, $325 million deal with a player opt out after year 4. So it could just be that the Tigers AI did not have 36.5 million to spend on their number 2 starter. So we have acquired Valdez. He is great. He had a great year for the Tigers last year, 186 innings, made 33 starts, no injury issues. He did have shoulder tendonitis for a week, but I'm not that concerned. 1.16 whip. BAPIP was low. He was worth 3.4 war. Very good pitcher. Um, he is the only lefty in our rotation at the moment, which also isn't nothing. This is just a placeholder holder order. Say that 5 times fast. I think Valdez will probably be our opening day starter. Then it'll go Joe, Ryan, Zebby, Mick, and Taj, but we'll see. And he immediately becomes our best pitcher. It's not particularly close. I think Joe Ryan is a good pitcher. Some of his underlying percentiles, I think, illustrate that. However, I don't think he is the ace that we really and truly need going forward. But that said, I gave him a 3-year contract extension in the middle of last season. We might look back on this as being a bit of an overpay. However, his expected ERA was a 2.9. He was in the 86th percentile in K percentage, 82 in walk percentage, which is always going to help his WAR. But what I am concerned about is quite simply the fact that he seems to allow 1.5 home runs every outing without fail, which is why his ERA is going to be a little inflated. So that's the only trade I made. Let me go over the team really quick and where we're at. So most of the lineup is returning. There are a few position question marks. Walker Jenkins, he's going to be leading off at left field. Luke Keeschel batting second at first base. Matt Wallner, at the moment, is in right field. He was a terrible defender in right field last year in terms of range and zone rating. Horrendous. His arm was also a negative 2.5. However, he had 7 assists, which is pretty good. In terms of roster flexibility, at the moment he's in right field, but he could obviously DH, which is what he did for the last month or so of the season. Byron Buxton, still here, did not retire. When I saw that Minnesota Twins player retiring, I feared the worst. Not Buxton. He's going to be in center field for us. Injuries, obviously a concern. He had 6 injuries last season, only 2 of which, though, were longer than a week. So could have been worse. And he put together a pretty good season. 4 WAR, 734 OPS is a touch low for him. That's mainly due to the slugging. Only 21 home runs, 17 doubles. So looking to get that back. And then batting 5th, Royce Lewis. The biggest surprise for me last season was Royce Lewis. 813 OPS. He had 27 home runs, 3.7 WAR. All of his percentiles are beautiful, except for the fact that he's just simply not a great base runner, doesn't really walk. But who cares if he doesn't walk? The man hit 27 home runs, had 150 hits. He's great. We did sign him to a 2-year extension in the middle of last season. This is essentially covering the last 2 arbitration years, which, based on his production, a steal. He's a team captain. Defensively, we played him at third. He was great. 5 errors I can kind of live with. We had to move him to second because of Gio Urshela for a bit. Didn't do all that hot. So I think third base is his spot. And then at the moment, Kalen Culpepper is going to be our shortstop. He's going to be 24 years old next season, so still really young. I need to give him at bats. Like, him as a backup utility infielder doesn't serve a great purpose. He didn't do particularly well last season. 85 games, 58 of them are starts. The slugging wasn't really there. He did have 5 home runs, which, but we need to see what he can do. Defensively, it's very simple. He was bad at second base, pretty good at short. That's where he's going to be. That does mean that Brooks Lee is going to slide over from short to second. Obviously, he played mainly at short last year. The zone rating's in the negative, but he only had 5 errors. Like, you give me 120 plus games at short and only 5 errors, I'll take that and like it. He had more range, though, a better zone rating in second. Did have an error, so hopefully that goes well. Brooks Lee had a pretty good season. I mean, 2 WAR for him, 418 slugging, 730 OPS. Did have 100 Ks, so it looks like that is an issue. But really good defensive player, and he's just about to start arbitration. Pretty happy with that. So what that means is right now, catcher and DH are open, potentially right field if Matt Wallner DHs. Catcher, very simple. Vic Carantini was the backup last season, became the starter down the stretch, and then immediately got concussed and missed 3 weeks, including playoff series. I like Vic Carantini. What I don't like is A, he disappeared in the playoffs, had a 264 OPS. B, he's not good defensively. Like, he just isn't. He has a negative frame rating, negative zone rating, 2 errors at the position, only threw out 17% of runs. Like, defense is not his strong suit at catcher. So that will be a hit. He is making $6.5 million. That is way too expensive for a backup catcher. So either he is our starting catcher or he is off the team. It's as simple as that. Miguel Amaya, we signed in middle of September last year when Carantini got hurt. And Miguel Amaya was fine, no complaints. Oh, wait, he had a 952 OPS and 4 home runs in 11 games. That'll play. He was not eligible for the playoffs due to the 40-man rule, since he wasn't on the 40-man on September 1st. I like Miguel Amaya, but he wasn't great as a starter for the Cubs. It could just be that we had lightning in a bottle for 11 games and go from there. But he is on the team, and he's definitely going to be a catcher next year for us. It's just a question of, is he going to be the starter? Is he going to be a backup? David Benuelos is just not going to be on the team. Did okay in the regular season, had a couple home runs. Unfortunately, though, in the playoffs, just wasn't very good at all. Did have a home run against the Yankees, so we'll take that. Everything else is locked in pretty much in terms of backups. Livan Soto got a handful of games for us last season. He's going to be our backup short and second baseman. Cody Clemens is going to be a backup first and third baseman. He really did great in the playoffs, was my starter in left field for a little bit. But again, struggled in the regular season. Did have 13 home runs, but he also struck out 82 times in 300 plate appearances. It's a little terrifying. And then defensively in the outfield, this is where I kind of have a log jam. Emmanuel Rodriguez is great defensively. He's got a phenomenal eye, but contact is a bit of a struggle. He had negative 1.3 WAR in AAA, 178 batting average, just not great. He'll probably start the year in AAA again. Gabriel Gonzalez is going to be on our opening day roster. It's just a question of starter, backup. He's not particularly great in the outfield, it must be said. But his arm looks to be okay, but range and zone rating are Pretty big question. James Outman, um, at the moment, he's on the team. He's a defensive first outfielder. The power, I think, is real. He had 7 home runs in 160 plate appearances. I'll take that in a heartbeat from a backup. But just, if he makes the team, it probably means somebody got hurt or we were unable to sign any free agents. Pitching wise, and this will be really quick, rotation, I'm bringing back 4 of the same guys: Joe Ryan, Zebby Matthews, Mick Abel, Taj Bradley, all of whom did pretty well last season. Taj Bradley obviously picked up that very annoying strained oblique that caused him to miss a month and a half. Mick Abel was pretty up and down, but overall happy with him in year one. Um, There's technically year two. He was worth 2.0 WAR, pretty good from him. Zebby Matthews, my biggest surprise as a pitcher. ERA of 4, 1.2 WHIP, 290 BABIP worth 1.7 WAR, 93rd percentile in walk rate. Just saying. Just saying. And then bullpen, we are bringing back at least the same 7. Orion Keckering is going to be our closer. Tapa and Sands return as setup men. Montgomery, Cantanero return as middle relief. And then David Festa and Julian Mayweather, the 35-year-old shover, is returning as long reliever. Cody Funderburk might make the team. He might not. He was the worst, reliever we had last year, outside of, say, Andrew Chafin. No real fault of his own. Everyone else is just really good. Obviously he has really good movement. The home runs allowed is definitely real. He only allowed 1 in 65 innings, and I believe it was no. I thought I remember it being like in March in his first appearance, but it was in April. All right. However, he only has 2 good pitches, which is a little shaky. His control ain't great. I think there's a world where we do trade Cody in spring training or in the off season because he's going to be 30 years old in 3 days. No real point in sending him to AAA again. So, TLDR, as it's 20 minutes in and I haven't got to free agency, apologies for that. We need to figure out catcher. We need to figure out either right field or DH. Pitching staff, I'd like to bring in 1 more bullpen arm, preferably a lefty, to pair with Tapa Sands down in the setup room. So, without further ado, let's talk free agency. First, really quick, if anyone is curious, we lost 2.6 WAR so far in the offseason, though we got 3.4 back from Framber. Urshela leaving is 1.8, Taylor Rogers leaving is 0.6, and then we traded Larnick for a 0.2. A player I didn't mention is Bailey Ober. I am not against Bailey Ober returning in a long relief role. There's no room for him as a starter, obviously. But in a long relief role, I don't hate it. He has 3 good pitches, really good control. It should help him with the home runs, where he was horrendous last season. I could see it. Right now, if anyone's curious, contractually, he wants 1 year, $4 million. Might be a little rich for our blood, but we will see. I currently have 2 minor league contracts pending. First, for reliever Luis Alvarez, who was in rookie ball for like 4 years, barely pitched, didn't do great in single A or high A. However, he could have a 70 fastball with 25 control, and that's just fun to see. And then left fielder Anderson Nova, who was in the Twins system in real life, released And no one picked him up in this game in 2025. So I'm just trying to have a nice little reunion with Mr. Anderson. Um, but let's talk players really quick. So pitchers, I'm currently scouting two relievers. First is Brustar Goratorol, pronunciation pending, of the Dodgers. Pitched very well against us in the playoffs. However, did not do well against the Mets. He got shelled. But against us, he was pretty good. He's got great control, great movement. Obviously, the stuff is poor. That's how you're in the fifth percentile for contact percentile. Doesn't strike a lot of guys out. However, he doesn't walk anyone. Guys aren't hitting the ball hard. His expected ERA is a 2.8, which is higher than 1.7, but it's real. I think I bring him in. He becomes not our best reliever by any stretch, but probably our third or fourth best guy. 28 years old, does have the fragile injury designation because in game he's injured to start the year, then picked up two other shoulder injuries. So that is something to keep in mind. And then Mikihiko Watanabe is an international free agent. Um, all of the accuracy is low, so this could all be a lie. One thing we do know, unfortunately, he has the outspoken personality trait, so I'm a little nervous to bring that in. But we'll see how he looks. Batters. Okay. So let's get catcher out of the way first. So Zijing Liang is a catcher from Taipei, also known for the uninitiated as Taiwan, but in this game it's Taipei. I'm going to leave that alone. We don't know a lot about him from an accuracy standpoint. However, his personality class is captain. Defensively, he looks perfectly fine, slightly above average. He could be good. But again, we're waiting on the scouting report from him. And now my other plans offensively are fairly simple. To do them, though, I would have to move some money around. First is Nathaniel Lowe, who was with the Reds last season, did pretty well, 17 home runs, 785 OPS, worth one WAR. Obviously, Luke Keeschel is our first baseman. So Nathaniel Lowe would DH, and that would mean Matt Wallner would take right field, which makes us a little worse defensively. However, Nathaniel Lowe, pretty good bat, decent amount of power despite only having a 45 rating, really good percentiles. You're not getting anything from him from a fielding perspective, but he walks a ton, doesn't strike out that much. Definitely did better with that this last year than years previous. I think he'd improve our lineup pretty much immediately. However, it's not exactly a massive signing. And then we turn to a reunion with Luis Arias. Now, with the Giants in game, they played him at first, they played him at second. He obviously was terrible at second. Anyone with eyes knows this. At first, he was fine. He would DH. Let's just get that out of the way. So we're bringing him back to DH. And this is really a litmus test in how much you care about contact. Now, obviously, he never strikes out and he gets on base at a decent clip. However, if you look at his stats with the Giants last year, his on base percentage was only a 318. It's not great, especially when his slugging was down. He only had 22 doubles. Obviously, his lack of speed kind of hurts that. I don't love the idea of a reunion with Luis, but I think it could be a good fallback option if we are able to find a more suitable designated hitter option. Just something to keep in mind. For those curious, by the way, The Marlins did not extend Ryan Jeffers, so he is a free agent. Josh Bell, though, the Yankees did execute the team option, so he is back with the Yankees in year 2 of his contract after he crushed with them, including a 3-hit day against us in the playoffs. Very rude. Elsewhere on my scouting list, just a couple players to keep an eye on. Owen Miller could be a more platoon option to competing with Levon Soto for that utility infield spot. He is a captain, and we have high accuracy on a lot of his ratings, so we know the contact and the bat plays. Um, he's a pretty good defender. He at third base, maybe the arm's a little lower than you like. Second base, the range is a little lower, but I think he could come in and do a pretty good job for us. I doubt he takes Cody Clemens' job, but he could take Levon Soto's. And then just a handful of minor league guys with okay potential that I want to get more scouting on. So at the moment, we're not signing anyone on day one. So we're just going to advance a few days. Oh, right. I have to activate everyone. So injured list. Connor Prelip has Tommy John. He's out all of next season. Maybe we get him back in September. Ryan Burr, Tommy John, he's out all of next season, which sucks because he's our highest rated reliever and he was a minor league free agent signing for us to start the year. So that's grim. Pablo Lopez at the moment is going to be ready. Probably not for opening day, but will be ready in April. I am sending him to the minors for a rehab assignment, and then I'm figuring it out. Because obviously, ratings wise, he's still pretty good. He's making $21.7 million. If his ratings don't fall off, he's going to be a starter in our rotation. The big question is where? So now that that issue is fixed, anyone sign anyone on day one? Yeah, no. Usually nothing too crazy. And then I also scouted a handful of international amateurs, mainly guys with 60 potential or higher. So that will be a lot of this list. But obviously, what we care about are these guys. Really quick, development lab. I went over this last episode, but just as a refresh, pitching staff, Mick Abel, improve his secondary pitch improvement. Improve his secondary pitch improvement. That was a sentence. Improve his secondary pitches. I hope his curveball and his cutter, but I wouldn't hate it if they improve his slider. I really don't want his changeup to be the one improved. I hate that I can't choose. Taj Bradley, I'm good with any of his curveball, cutter, splitter improving. Makes no difference to me. Orion Keckering, boost his control. If he's going to be our closer, he needs that. Luke Keeschel, gap power. He had 28 doubles last year, which isn't, that bad, but looks like he's not going to be a real home run guy. So I would like to get that extra pop in his bat and try to make him hit doubles. Kalen Culpepper, copy and paste what I just said. Try to improve his double capabilities, especially if his power does not develop. Matt Wallner, plate discipline. He struck out 200 times. Need I say more? Emmanuel Rodriguez, plate discipline. He struck out 30 times. He's in the 30th percentile walks. He's in the 95 percentile for walks, which is awesome. So if we can get that rating even higher, that will be very sustainable and could lead to him getting a roster spot. Gabriel Gonzalez, he didn't walk, struck out a ton, needs all the help he can get. Obviously, early returns don't look great, but they never, ever do. So, just a quick run through there. Looks like Luis Alvarez likes our minor league offer, which is good. I like it too. For a second, I thought that was Rowdy Tellez. I'm like, I do not remember scouting Rowdy Tellez. All right, yeah, it looks like we should be done with the international free agents in like 2 days. Oh, Anderson Nova likes our offer. New month, calendar flips, so we save. All right, fresh scouting report on Ashton Crowther, one of the minor league guys we're looking at. He was undrafted at the University of Miami. I mean, don't get me wrong. He doesn't look that particularly good, but like if we get lucky and he hits his potential on like 3 out of 4 of these pitchers, he could be a pretty good pitcher. The control obviously sucks, but if we choose to focus more on the stuff and less on that, we should be in business. The Mariners made him an offer. Surely he doesn't want. Hold on. He wants a minor league deal with a major league option for a signing bonus. I mean, I'm not doing that. Like, come on. If his control was a bit better, I'd be tempted, but I can't afford to do that. So have fun, Mariners. All right, we get Anderson Nova. Why, in the name of all that is good and holy, did the AI put him in AAA? Are they aware? Are they aware that the highest he's done is rookie ball? And to be fair, he might not even be good in. I'll keep him in single A for now and then wait for the scouting report. All right, Owen Miller. I mean, I think he could do the job. OBS disconnecting may have been a sign that I shouldn't sign Owen Miller. All right, looks like we're good. I mean, I'll give him that if that's what he wants. I think he gives us a pretty good fallback option if there's an injury. I'll take that. All right. So who am I still waiting on? Nova, who's already signed, so it's not much of an issue. Moreno. Okay. All right. Moreno. Oh, nope. He is. He's worse than we thought. So that's going to be a no for us. Oh, Jazz Chisholm is signed with the Braves. 7 years, 193 million. Good God. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Anderson Nova. I mean, he's not bad. He's not great. Defensively, he's nothing special. But if he hits his potential with some of his contact numbers, like he could be. I doubt he ever makes the majors, but be a pretty good minor league guy for us in our organization. And you always need those. All right, Hall of Fame voting. Luis Alvarez does go to Seattle. Just a minor league contract? That's what I offered you. Now I feel a little insulted. All right, whatever. Hall of Fame voting has commenced. Let's see who we're putting in first. Did anyone get insanely close in the years prior? Not really. I mean, Chase Utley got 60%. A Rod, I'll put him in. It's controversial, I know, but why not? And then King Felix, clearly. All right. Abreu, no. Alex Avila, no. However, great, great catcher for the Tigers for like 3 years. The man was worth 6 WAR with an 895 OPS in 2011. Insane. Joaquin Benoit, Tigers legend. He was really a good reliever. That's also not at all what he looked like. This is a grim Hall of Fame list, I must say. Kind of depressing. Buster Posey, put him in. Yeah, this list is terrible. Do I have to submit 10? I know I don't, but I feel like for the bit I should. All right, who else am I putting in here? You know what? Alex Avila, Tigers bias. Joaquin Benoit, Tigers bias. You will see no Tigers bias from Francisco Cordero for me. The man was great, and then the Tigers were like, "Hey, what if we don't need him?" Torrey Hunter, Tigers bias. And then, Jonathan Lucroy, I think genuinely could have made it if he either stays with the Rangers for longer or stays with the Rockies. Because if he gets like 120 games a year at Coors Field, the numbers. And then Dustin Pedroia. But that was a terrible Hall of Fame list. Horrendous. Terrible. Murakami's on the trade block. Oh boy. I mean, hey, if I want a DH, he's going to walk a ton. He's going to hit 1 billion home runs, but he's also going to strike out 200 times, just like Matt Wallner. I don't think I want to do that. Felix Bautista's on the trade block. You can always get him in this game for cheap. Like, what do they want? Yeah, like I can give them any like average prospect or above average probably, and they would come knocking. So, how much money do I have? 12. All right. I think I am going to readjust some of the numbers I adjusted last time. I don't need that high of a draft budget. Yeah. I don't need that high of a draft budget. I can honestly drop it down to 10 million. And then I'm going to drop. Well, you want to know. Let's be committed and go from there. All right, so we're still waiting on scouting reports, annoyingly, on Watanabe and Leanne. Oh wait, I didn't see. I didn't see us get his scouting report. I mean, the two downsides are that he doesn't have any good pitches and he got injured a bunch. However, he wants less than 2 million. Ooh, he wants 3 years though. I don't know about that. I'll tell you what, I'll do you 2 years and I'll front load it. What say you? He really wants 3 years. Um, I'll tell you what. I will give you that. However, and I'm going to be a little bit of a penny pincher here. I'll give you that. He's financially ambitious, isn't he? No, he has low financial ambition. That's not what I'm seeing here, game. I mean, you could argue that Cody Funderburk gets me more, and that argument might be right. That was the most inefficient way of me doing that in the history of the world. I'll tell you what, buddy, if you honestly want that, fine. And then I'll give you a buyout of actually no. You know what? You gonna be this stingy, I'm gonna be this stingy. What say you? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back here. Actually, let's do the smart thing. I mean, yeah, he's a clear upgrade. Like Cody is better against lefties and his pitches are better, but everyone's gonna have better pitches than Boostar. Okay, fine. Tell you what, 2 million. Let's do this. I'm gonna give you 2.5 million. I'm gonna give you 2 million. Then I'm gonna give you. Let's do that. It's a little bit more money than I think he wants. What say you? Dude. He just wants this. And he will accept no substitute. Which isn't really what I. The reason I want to front load it is he has fragile injury designation. And so I don't want to get wrecked on the turnaround. Whoever his agent is, he should just fire him. You know what? Okay, here. We're done. I'm gonna double back. I'm gonna double back later. Cause good lord. All right. Crowther likes our offer. All right, Watanabe. All right, I'm gonna scout him again because yeah, I think he's worse. I think he is worse than we have right now, which is a little shaky, but you never know. All right, Xi Liang. We're going to scout him again, obviously, but initial returns. So his eye potential is slightly worse than we thought it was. And that's still only a low accuracy. I don't know. I mean, he wants 4 years and 25 million, which means we'd have to commit to him as a catcher because the other thing in here is Eduardo Tai is in AAA, got 74 games there and did okay. I think the on base is grim, but he hit 11 home runs, which is encouraging. Like he is our future at catcher. And he's only 20 years old in AAA. If we can get him in the majors at any point next year and he does well, like our future at catcher is secured for the entirety of the save. So I don't really want to screw that up with, signing a guy. Draft lottery results. Obviously, we're not in the lottery. Trade proposal from the Braves, and it is already expired. Fair enough. Because they traded the guy to the Phillies. Okay, then. Yeah, a lot of relievers are starting to go off the board. Let's return. Hello there. Oh, so you want more money now. In all honesty, like, what if we do 2.5 and then 2 million? Does he want that? He wants 3 years. It really is fundamentally simple. He wants 3 years. And I'm nervous to give that to him. Quit. Why do I keep getting these offers and they're expired? Kyle Brett. This is insulting. Charlie Soto is literally my top prospect in terms of rating. And you also want Enrique Jimenez, who is looking like he's going to become a pretty good hitter. And you're telling me with a straight face that Kyle Bradish is who you offer? Don't get me wrong. I like Kyle Bradish. What I don't like is the fact that I don't need him. Now, this, on the other hand, I could have a conversation about. So they want John Klein, who I don't love the idea of giving him up. He's a 24-year-old starter in AAA, did pretty well last year, got a lot of good percentiles. The fastball velo obviously is an issue. They want to give me, first of all, Victor Figueroa, who is a okay hitting prospect, not anything too excited about. And then Tyler O'Neill. So Tyler O'Neill, oh, they extended him? Never mind. Never mind. I was like, well, we've found our DH, but it would appear they extended Tyler O'Neill for a 4-year, $80 million contract. So, no. Like, that's going to be a no from me. You insane? Adley Rushman. I mean, there's your upgrade at catcher right there. He is an upcoming free agent, and we probably would not extend him. They want Jose Davia, who we signed as a minor league free agent before year one. He's probably destined for a relief role, but looks like a pretty good prospect. They want the aforementioned John Klein, and they want Kyle DeBarge, who is a very good defensive prospect. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reject that. However, in a vacuum, Adley Rushman, if we're going for it next year, this is the trade to do. The problem is he's making 11.6 million, and so like we don't have a lot of money to. How do you do defensively for them? Pretty good. So that's no issue. They want John Klein, Andrew Morris. I like Morris more. I'd rather keep him. John Klein, probably the easiest trade option there. Here's a question, though. What if I add in Vic Carantini? Riley Quick, Jose Olivares. I like Jose. I like Riley Quick too. I mean, I think it might be Jose. Because the problem with Jose is that potentially his movement and control is never going to be that viable. And so he really only has his stuff to go on. Will they retain any of his contract? They'll do 25%. I think this is worth it. We get our catcher for next year, and we have the option to extend him if something happens to Eduardo Tai. We get rid of Jose Olivares, I think, is a steep price. He's a pretty good pitcher, probably destined for a relief role, done well in the minors, but movement control not really there. We get rid of Vic Carantini, which I've honestly been leading toward anyway. And he goes to the Orioles, where depending on how they're going to do their lineup, he might have some DH spots available. We're going to do the deal. We are going to do the deal. Fan interest increases noticeably, and Adley Rushman is our new catcher. So I think it sucks to lose Jose Alvarez, but I think this is a clear, easy deal. Rushman's going to bat sixth. I'm not going to put him that high in our batting order, but I mean, he becomes what's he rated as? The 12th ranked catcher. I think that's pretty good. In terms of extension, just for our future reference, he wants 5 years, 107 million, which is not a lot, all things considered. Okay, that's that taken care of. So Vic Carantini is out the door. He's a member of the Baltimore Orioles. Winter meetings have ended. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Money wise, though, now we're down to about 13 million. So that puts us out of the Nathaniel Lowe sweepstakes unless we move some money around on the back end. I think the fact that he wants as many years as he does really hurts. Luis Arias, I mean, if I really want to go for it next year, that could be a move. He does want 5 years, which is a little rough. I mean, to be fair, bringing in like a Reese Hoskins, if I just want to go pure power to pair with Matt Wallner, might not be the worst idea I've ever had. All right, let's circle back. I'm tired of this. Let's just get him signed. Does he still want? Yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I acknowledge I am giving up more money because he wouldn't take the previous iteration of the deal. Whoops. However, it's fine. If he's as good as we think he can be with us, then that's no issue. Take the deal. Thank you. Is that an overpay? Maybe. We'll see. All right. Okay. Ashton Crowther has signed. Very good. Rule 5. All right, let's save really quick. We're what, an hour in at Rule 5? Pretty good. Okay. So our minor league teams, St. Paul, Wichita, and Cedar Rapids. All right, Cedar Rapids, anyone? No, they're all fine. Uh, St. Paul is next. Eduardo. So he's on the 40 man. I can't lose him. Everyone else, I'd be okay if they get taken. Devison De Los Santos getting taken would obviously suck because we traded for him, but I'm not going to protect him. And then Wichita is safe. Okay. So, Rule 5 draft order, we pick number 21. Let us go into the draft. Any hilarious picks? Oh, Alan Roden has been gone. Fair play. I mean, he's got a very good bat. Like, don't get me wrong, very good bat. The reason I didn't protect him is we have so many outfielders in AAA and at a major league club. So he goes to them with the Padres. Good luck, sir. Good luck to you. Anyone else? No. All right, let's just auto draft until our selection. So far, Max Schumann got taken. That's interesting. The Yankees didn't protect. I mean, he was in AAA the whole year. That's why. That wouldn't have been a bad pick for us, honestly. That actually genuinely would have been my pick. That hurts. Okay, so first of all, no one with higher than 45 overall is available. Eduardo Valencia would be funny. Jose Brasino. Oh, Jose Brasino. If I didn't just trade for Adley Rushman, getting him in the door, like, come on. How is he defensively in AAA? Not great. I think in terms of needs, like, we don't have anything that particularly crazy. Henry Bolte is available to be picked. Jojo Gracia is available. If you watched my Rockies rebuild, I had him for a bit. Let's look at Trey Morgan. For a genuine second, let's look at Trey Morgan. So, position wise, they've played him only at first base. I would consider the outfield or DH for Trey Morgan. He does not have much power. However, he walked a ton, 50 walks in just under 100 games played. Doesn't strike out a bunch. He's elite. I mean, 24 years old might not be a bad idea. Let me look at some of the other. Cam Collier. Cam Collier just didn't have a great year in AAA, and he didn't improve that much. Chase Davis, we don't need. I think, honestly, Trey Morgan might be the selection. I think Jose Brasino, if we didn't have like Rushman, if we didn't have Miguel Amaya, if we didn't have Eduardo Tait in AAA, it'd be Brasino. I think we go Trey Morgan from the Rays system. And I think we give him some legitimate looks at DH. I think that's kind of my move. He did well against lefties also, despite his ratings being worse. I think that's the move. Trey Morgan, come on down. Oh, somebody took Brasino. The Rangers, you idiots. All right. Are there any pitchers that like have insane? Oh boy. Okay. I mean, like, I can have Kevin Ginkel on my team right here, right now. I don't know if that's what I want. That's what I can get. It would have to be a reliever. Like a starter doesn't really help me here. Eknis is a no. Whoops. I think Ginkel isn't a bad option. JoJo and Gracia, if I want to just move him to the bullpen, but was he hurt? Yeah, torn labrum in his shoulder. That sucks. Yeah, I don't think there's anything particularly inspiring. So I think we are just going to skip the rest of the draft. There were 5 picks total. We lose Alan Roden. He goes to the Padres to help out in the outfield there. And we get Trey Morgan, who is looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. And folks think he's going to be our DH. Unless I want to move him to the outfield. But the problem with the outfield is it's pretty log jammed already. I'd rather just DH the man. That's 7th. Okay, so that is our lineup taken care of, I think. I think we're still waiting. Eric Wagaman is just sitting in AAA wondering why I don't call him up. The answer is, unfortunately, he's 29 years old and I have other options. So right now, since Owen Miller is not signed, Cody Clemens back up first and third, Soto back up second and short. With Matt Wallner in right, I think Gabriel Gonzalez and Emmanuel Rodriguez will be our defensive backups. Most likely. This does commit us to Wallner and right, but maybe we'll get lucky and that first year will have just been a fluke defensively. Maybe we'll get lucky. Okay. Yeah, and these guys are all hurt. Yada yada yada. Cool. I'm happy with that outcome. I think it does kind of mean that we won't be able to get like Nathaniel O or Luis Arias, but I think that's fine. I think I'm fine with being a low spender in this offseason because we're counting on a lot of guys in our lineup to do well. No one really, besides Jazz Chisholm, has gone off the board yet. It has been an insanely quiet free agency so far. I think I'm just going to advance. Actually, wait. Whoops. Pending offers. Yeah, Owen Miller has favored my offer that I gave him 2.5 weeks ago, and he just has not signed it. What could possibly be taking him so long? Merrick Houston, I think where I'm at with Merrick Houston is he's going to play in AAA for probably the whole year, and then we'll make a decision on calling him up around September. Okay, buddy. First of all, this confirms to me that had I offered that initial offer, he would have said no anyway. What's he want now? That's more or less what I asked you, dude. Like he's doing all this for 600,000. Um. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna front load it because I think the issue here is just I'm being outspent in year one. So we're gonna front load it. I'm gonna drop some money off the back end. That team option is coming back with a $400,000 buyout. Okay. It's less money than he wants, but it's more money than my previous offer. All right, another scouting report on Watanabe. I mean, he's pretty good, isn't he? He is pretty good. If I compare him to Bruce Dar, he's got much better stuff, but he's worse against lefties. I think Watanabe is going to be pretty good. What's he want? 2 years, 12? I mean, we can do that. All right. Zhijing Liang, we're obviously not going in for anymore since we signed, or excuse me, since we traded for Adley Rushman. That said, I don't think he'd be a bad option at catcher. It looks like the power is probably not going to be there since the gap power is also lower, but not the end of the world. Rosarena went to the Marlins. 5 years, 100 million. Everyone's frustrated. Some people are excelling, yada, yada, yada. I'm not pulling them off of the development lab because I've only had negative experience when that happens. All right. We're ahead of the pack for Bruce Dar. But now the question becomes, do I go for Watanabe? I think I'm going to wait. Think I am going to wait. Would he be my closer? He might, to be fair. All right, now that it is January, and we are what, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks away from international amateur signing. Let me go back to my list. And we are solely going to scout anyone's whose potential is between a 60 and an 80. Yeah, we'll get a scouting report on those 43 guys, and then they will all be done by the time drafting comes around. Owen Miller has signed. I think I'm going to keep him in AAA for now. How's my 40-man room? 37. We are getting kind of close there. Should I DFA and Philippe? No, I'd rather he not get stolen. I'm going to waive and DFA CJ Culpepper to free up a 40-man spot. And then I am going to promote Owen Miller to the active roster. So I think him and Levon Soto can fight it out. What? 30 not no. please. I am trying to make real bullpen moves, please. I do not have the time for this. I need Bruce Starr to sign. Like, the dude is actually killing me. If he asks to be paid more, I'm just pivoting and signing Watanabe. Should I just sign Watanabe anyway? It's like all relievers being signed. Reese Hoskins went 3 years, 17.7. That's fine. I'm going to make at least an offer into Watanabe. 2 years, 6 apiece. How about we do 3 years, team option before the last year? And that last year can be 5 million. What say you? He wants a 500,000 buyout. Fine. You want that? Then you lose. I almost gave him the most expensive contract in the history of baseball right there. No one noticed. There we go. If I can get him and Brewstar, then our bullpen is looking beautiful. I'm going to have to make some awkward decisions probably, but our bullpen is looking pretty good. I'm still waiting on the final scouting report from him, but that's okay. Okay, and then that's all the international amateurs with that level scouted. I am now going to scout them again because I should get most of them coming in here. Did I click? Hold on. For some unknown reason, I remember this number being higher, but I could be wrong. All right, no one claimed CJ Culpepper, which we saw coming. So that's one 40-man spot cleared up, which will be good. And then I think after spring training, I'm going to waive and DFA David Benuelos. That'll free up another spot. Bruce Starr, thank you for finally signing, you moron. All right, so he is going to join the middle relief group. And then I think that does seal the end for Cody Funderburk if we also get Watanabe. Speaking of which, all right, so these are his ratings. Do I think he's worth 6 million? I mean, yeah. Like if I compare him with Keckering, because that's his active competition. Keckering is better against lefties and his potential is better, but right now, Watanabe is the better pitcher. If I compare Watanabe to, let's say, Ryan Burr, he crushes him. So I think getting Watanabe in the building will be insanely helpful. It does create kind of a log jam. I think Julian Merriweather honestly might be the domino that falls here, but we shall see. Let's check in on some old friends really quick. Ryan Jeffers. Whoops. Ryan Jeffers is unsigned. That's rough. Simeon Woods Richardson, I assume the Pirates still have him. Yep. Misspelled Taylor there. Do they really need me to just. Thank you. Taylor Rogers also unsigned. Gio Urshela also unsigned. Golly. And that's rough. Zach Gallen to the Cubs, 3 years, 41. That's nothing for him. Taylor Ward just went. I'm going to keep that offer for Watanabe there and just see if he likes it. I might not get all the scouting reports in time, or it might literally be just the day of. 3. Yeah, so I didn't get scouting reports on these 3. But the accuracy from Larnaga is very high, at least. Okay, let us save. I think had we also not be getting Pablo Lopez back from injury in April, I would look at getting a new starter. But with him coming in, there's not much point. All right, international amateur scouting. Really, these are the only ones I care about, especially the 80 potential guys who we have very high um, scouting accuracy on, because I really don't want to miss out on these guys. Looks to be very hitter heavy. Javier Fuentes, the only pitcher heavy one out there. So let's just start from the bottom. Alberto Sanchez. Oh boy. You are a third baseman. I mean, we know his 80 potential gap power is real. We're pretty accurate for the power in the eye being near 80. BAPIP is going to probably be a little lower, but I mean, he's pretty good. Defensively, he doesn't have a home. He's definitely not a second baseman, probably a third baseman. Potential, or not potential, personality is a little iffy, but I do not hate it. Luis Ruiz. Oh, I wish we knew that gap power. Oh, I wish we knew that. Yeah, big home run guy. Not much at void. K's. David Rios. Gap power's real. Power's real. Void K ain't too bad either. Defensively, he's a little shaky, but that's fine. That might be one we look at. Orlando Mendoza, too many question marks. All I really know is his gap power is insane, but very low accuracy on power, low contact avoid K. That's just too much. Laranaga, who we're currently scouting, it would have been so good to get the scouting report for him in. I mean, defensively, though, he looks really good. 65 range means I can put him at second with no issue. I don't know if he has the arm for third, so it might have to be second or shortstop. I mean, the power potential is real. The eye, the avoid, I mean, the avoid K is low, which means the eye is probably low. Javier Fuentes, who I'm not taking, too much unknown. And then Willie Estrella. Okay, never mind. We have our pick. Willie Estrella, 16 years old. Come on. Like, if I put him in A ball right now at 16, he would only be slightly below average. I mean, this is the pick. Defensively, he looks fine for third. And to give you a comparison of what I'm looking for at third base, so for reference, Royce Lewis just put together a great third base. Like, this is what I want for third base. I can be a little lower on the turn DP and the error, but range 55, 60, arm 60 probably. So defensively, he doesn't quite have a home yet, but offensively, he looks to be a god. So yeah, he'll do. Um, what does he want? 3.6? No, 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 no. You, sir, are worth more than that. I will write you a check right now for 4.5 million. And then, does any of these top guys just not want any more money? There's some of them that don't want a lot, but I want to wait to see if Estrella wants more money than we think. Because league interest is also very high. So I figure we kind of fire in. If we're not able to get him, I think Laranaga or David Rios are the backup options. But I don't want to offer them anything because I can't afford to right now. All right, fresh scouting report. Laranaga. Is it bad that he gets worse every time I scout him? Like his potential just dipped. I mean, he's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. Um, I'll get a fresh scouting report on Estrella because I might as well. Like we know we're going for him already. Might as well be a little overkill here. Okay, Estrella likes our offer. Fresh scouting report on him. Potential power drop by 10, but I went up by 5. The power dropping by 10 obviously sucks a little bit, but could be worse. His potential has stayed consistent in 80 the whole time. So that at least we know is real. Scout him again. Hey, he signed. Neat. Hall of Fame voting results. No one gets in. A-Rod misses out by 3%. Buster Posey, 30% shine year one. Everybody down here drops. Very bad year for the Hall of Fame coming up. All right, Estrella signed. Obviously, he's going on our prospect list. And like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep him on the international complex, but then I kind of just want to move him into rookie ball. Actually, no. We'll move him to the Dominican Rookie League. I'll put him there. Because, like, come on. Let's get ambitious. When in doubt, folks, get ambitious. Am I still waiting on Watanabe? Yep. I'm going to need you to say yes, dude. Nathaniel Lowe, by the way, is still available. There is so many guys still available. And it's a I mean, to be fair, that was realistic to what we saw last season in MLB. So can't really say anything about that. All right, this is the final scouting report we asked for. So this is the man. This is who Willie Estrella will turn into. Pretty good. Ooh, the infield arm went up, I think. Current power dropped, I don't care about. Potential power went back up to a 70. I rating went back down to a 75. So yeah, this is Estrella. That'll do. Like that's our future third base, maybe probably first baseman also potentially. Like, come on now. All right, so since he signed, we still have how much money left? Twins, we have 1.75, which is not going to be enough to get a lot of these top guys. I'm going to see if I can get scouting reports on these guys that want less than like a million to see if they'd be worth it. Because we don't have to spend the money just to spend it. It will roll over next year. Hey, Watanabe signs. Very good. Very good, sir. He's going to go on the active roster, and then he's going to be our closer. So Keckering will go back to reliever. Watanabe comes our closer. And now I have a log jam. I officially have a log jam of bullpen arms. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. I have 10 relievers in my bullpen right now. So we may have to make some hard calls. We get Watanabe. I think 3 years, 16.75 is fine for a closer. I am slightly worried about his control. However, he's got 2 great pitches. Velocity is fine. I think he'll be really good for us. All right. Preseason has begun. So all the stats will reset. All right. Sal Lar. I need. Oh wait, he's with Arizona. Never mind. Cancel that. I think I'm out on Cooper. Japanese Babe Ruth. He's Australian. I'm not going to question it, though I feel like I should. I think I'll need another scout on Vinny Lopez there. And again, we don't have to spend the international amateur money. It does roll up. So if I don't have to, I'm not going to. I think I want to see if the avoid Ks are real, then go from there. All right, player development update. Zebby Matthews, his current stuff and velo drop. That's a bit scary, but his movement control go up pretty good. Rushman loses power and gap power. Estrella, yeah, we knew this already. Victor Lopez, because okay. Rushman losing a bit of power is kind of scary, but again, he could be here only for 1 year, or he could be, I could give him a 3-year extension, and then we're okay at catcher for a bit. All right. Oh, Vinny signed with the Orioles. How much? 550,000. We could have gotten him. All right. I think we're just going to hold on to the rest of our money and not spend it. I think that's kind of where I'm at. Because right now, yeah, a lot of the guys I have high accuracy on were just too low. Let me offer a contract. Oh, 2.4. I misread what he wanted. Or he's just lying to me. All right, we're just going to eat the rest of our money and roll it over. No issue. No issues there. Yeah, it looks like now a lot of guys are coming off the board. You know, oh, somebody signed Bailey over. Who did? The Giants. Minor league contract with a major league option. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't have such a full bullpen, I wouldn't have hated the idea of bringing him back as a long reliever, but, you know, that is what it is. I feel like the search feature's gotten worse. Nobody wants Ryan Jeffers. Like, it's kind of depressing. But yeah, we're done. Like, oh, Gio Urshela signed with the Athletics, so he's going back to where he was in 2025 on a $1.8 million deal. Good for him. Staying in the year at least one more year. But yeah, what a dismal, depressing free agency. But hey, we upgraded our bullpen, and via trade, we upgraded at catcher and in the starting rotation. I'll take that. All right, spring training begins. Our roster gets really crowded. Man, OBS is just not having a good time. All right, we're back. It's fine. I'm not worried at all. Sweats profusely. All right, so here's the plan. As I always do, we are just going to sim through spring training. Let me make sure it lets me advance with those three on the IL. Good God. Okay, no improvement for Mick Abel. No improvement for Taj Bradley. Outstanding for Orion Keckering. Very good. Potential control improves by 5. Current control improves by 5. Nice. Very, or greater than 5, I should say. That's very good. Love that. No improvement for Luke Keeschel. No improvement Culpepper. That's surprising because Luke Keeschel, I believe it said excellent in the early days. Matt Wallner, successful. Thank heavens. So his eye improves, which is good. I know it doesn't help his avoid K any, but by improving his eye, we decrease the chances of him striking out. Emmanuel Rodriguez, no improvement. That sucks. Gabriel Gonzalez, his potential eye improves by 5, current eye by 10. I'm not saying that gets him on the roster, but that might be good enough to get him on the roster. All right, and now we're just simming through the preseason. We're going week by week, and we are hoping against hope that no one gets hurt. Enrique Liera wants to talk again. Oh, did no one offer you the insane overpriced amount you wanted? How much do you want, buddy? Oh, he'll do the 1.5. Ha. Fine. I'll do it for 1.5. But if he tries to come back and be like, oh, no, actually, then we're done here. I hope the scouting report comes in before the signature. Oh, no. I mean, the Ryan Bird drop we saw coming. He has Tommy John. Joe Ryan, current potential stuff dropped by 5. Velo drops by 5. Folks, he's not even into his contract extension yet. That's a bit scary. That's a bit, we might have been a bit preemptive on that contract. Eduardo. His current contact goes up by 5. Speed goes up by 5. Folks, think our future at catcher is going to be just fine. Frank Cruz. Yeah. Yeah, that's just the scouting discovery, guys. Matt Wallner, his eye goes up, which we knew. His overall potential dropped to 55. That's annoying, but fine. All right, let's just advance through the week. All right, well, Liara signed. Let's take a look. Not up again. I think he'll be pretty good. The 35 turn double play is pretty awkward for a second baseman, obviously. But, you know, 1.5 million if he if he flames out, not the end of the world. First person born in Afghanistan to play Jeff Ronke. Jeff Ronke. Born 1965. He was the only Major League player born in Afghanistan. He was born in Kabul to an American mother and Afghan father. Interesting. That's pretty cool. All right. So far, no injuries. Kendi Rojas strained oblique. So he is out and on the 15-day IL. Obviously, he was never going to make the team, but it's annoying that he won't get more time in spring training. Watanabe. 1 week. I don't care. Put him on the IL. Oh, he has 2 injuries. Nice. He's going on the IL. I don't care. Like, he might miss opening day, but that's okay. All right, so this is Enrique Liera. I mean, if he were better defensively, I'd be obviously over the moon. His eye is bad, but his avoid K might become decent enough to where I'm not that worried. The power is real. I think 1.5 million, pretty good get. I'm happy with that. Anyone else want to get injured? Byron Buxton. That was a sarcastic comment from me. Cole Pepper is also hurt for those keeping track at home. I know it says opening day is the 30th. Is that okay? So they're doing an opening night BS sort of thing. So we open on the 31st. Just push our schedule at that point, please. Pablo. Hey, Pablo Lopez is making great progress and will be 100% in 2 weeks. So he's definitely not going to be ready for opening day. However, he will be ready soon. That is beautiful. All right, let us get a fresh scouting report on him. Here we go. Okay, not a real big fall off from Tommy John, which is good. All right, let us get to opening day. Yada yada yada. Okay. Season expectation: win it all. We did too well in year one. We did too well in year one. Okay, so first things first. Preseason prediction. We're projected to have the exact same record as last year, but instead of winning the division, we're going to finish 3rd in the division. That's cool. We are not projected to have a top hitter or a top pitcher. Okay, it is opening day. I have to make 11 cuts. Neat. Watanabe, it looks like, will be ready. He'll just miss opening day. All right, so first things first, the injured guys. Connor Prelip, 60-day IL. Kendry is already on one. Ryan Burr, 60-day IL. That brings me to 35. All right, lineup first. Benuelos, we are going to waive and DFA. Eduardo, how do you do in AAA? And it looks like he didn't get that many at bats. Yeah, no, he didn't. We had too many hitters on our 40 man. But yeah, he's obviously starting the year in AAA. So James Outman, does he have option years left? He does not. We're gonna waive and DFA him. I think someone might pick him up. He's good enough defensively. He's got good power. Someone might pick him up. What does that bring me? 32. Okay, let's get some obvious pitching moves out of the way next. Travis Adams, AAA. Angel Felipe, AAA. And Pablo Lopez, 15-day IL, retroactive to 3 days ago. So he might spend a bit more time than necessary on the IL, but that's okay. Cantorino has a back spasm. That's fine. Okay. That brings the number to 29. So I have to make 3 cuts while acknowledging that my starting closer will not get back until next month. Okay. So Keckering in the meantime is my closer. I think for the purposes of the bullpen, Funderburk is the odd man out. He is out of option years. I think if I waive him, someone probably picks him up. Let me shop him around. Why did I left veterans clicked like a doofus. If no one offers a trade, I'm just going to waive and DFA him. Okay. We're going to waive and DFA Cody. It's harsh, but he's the odd man out here. So that leaves me at 28. So 2 more cuts. I think I'm not going to touch the bullpen because Watanabe is not getting back for a few days. So I need to make 2 cuts from here. One of them's infield, one of them's outfield. Emmanuel Rodriguez is the outfield cut. He is going to. How are you out of option years? How is he out of option years? He has 6 years of pro service time. That is a glitch. That can't be how his contract is in real life. I might commissioner mode that because that's essentially saying he was. That can't be true. Yeah, that's not true. He was added in November 2023. So that should not be 6 years. Should be 3. Now, I believe I am going to commish mode that. I don't know if I even can. I'm ignoring all this stuff on the side. I don't really care about it. Is there a way for me to change his... Here. All right, I'm going to change his total pro service years to 3, number of option years to 2. Because that is what I did last season. Let me double check that. I don't really know how I would double check that. But I believe I called him up and sent him down at 2 different points last season. So he has 1 option year left. Yeah. Because for reference, he should not have accrued. Yeah, he should have 1 option left to burn. Because I called him up and sent him down twice last season. And then the service time should only be 3 years. I'm just double checking the MLB transactions tracker in real life. Yes. Okay. So that's correct. So 3, I've used 2 options. All of that is fine. Okay. Let me disable commission mode. All right. He's going to AAA. Speaking of which, how's my AAA team? We're pretty light on bullpen. Oh, it's because I have a bajillion players here in AAA. Corey Lewis, Trable, Shaw. I need to get some bullpen arms. I need to get some. Whoa! Where do I want him in AAA? Now that I think about it, I think I'll start him in AA again. All right, so that's 27. So I need to make one last cut, and it's really Owen Miller versus Levon Soto is the decision. I think if I compare Owen Miller and Soto to each other, I think Owen Miller is objectively the better bat, especially against lefties. Defensively, though, is where we have some issues. But I think he gives us a better bat right now. And Soto has a couple option years left anyway. So he can go down to AAA. It's a little harsh on Soto. I think he's got he's good. He's great defensively. I think the bat, we'll see at times if it's real. And then Owen Miller is going to be our backup second baseman. Backup shortstop, I'm just going to have Brooks Lee do that and not really worry about it. All right, and then Gabriel Gonzalez, who is not great defensively, it must be said, is going to be our backup left fielder, right fielder. If I need center field help, we're just going to slide Walker Jenkins over to center field. And then backup DH is going to be Gonzalez, pinch hitter, Gonzalez, and Cody Clemens. pinch runner, Cody Clemens. In terms of platoons and where I want to be, I think the only one I am pretty nervous about just giving Culpepper the starting shortstop job, but I think I just have to do it. I think I'll have Gabriel Gonzalez DH with Morgan every 3 games against righties. Everything else can be fine. Let me copy the lineup and the depth chart. Just paste it over here. All right. Are there any lefty crushers that should be playing and any right lefty guys that suck? Not really. I think I'll keep an eye on it. But for now, I think this is our lineup. So we got same lineup against lefties as we do righties. We got Walker Jenkins leading off in left, Luke Keeschel batting second at first, Matt Wallner third in right, not DHing, Byron Buxton, 4-hole, center field, Royce Lewis batting fifth at third, Adley Rushman batting sixth at catcher, Trey Morgan, Rule 5, lefty bat, DH for us in 7, Kalen Culpepper batting 8th, and then Brooks Lee rounding out the order in 9th. He is moved to second base. Miguel Amaya backup catcher, Cody Clemens and Owen Miller are backup infielders. Gabriel Gonzalez backup outfielder. So we'll see how that sorts itself out. One thing I did forget to do, I want to reset fatigue on everyone in case there was any stupid AI spring training decisions. Fred Valdez is our ace. He is leading off opening day against the Pirates. Joe Ryan is going to be our second pitcher. Had a little bit of regression this offseason. I don't want to talk about it. Zebby Matthews did very well last season. He's going to be pitching third for us. Mick Abel at 4 had a stellar spring training. Very good year last season. And then finally, Taj Bradley is going to be, actually, let's be smart about this. I'll flip Taj Bradley and Mick Abel. Whoops. That's definitely what I wanted to do, yeah. All right, and then Taj Bradley will pitch fourth. I think he didn't have a great year last year. However, he picked up an injury, so didn't get a handful of starts to close out. We'll see if he can become, a really good pitcher for us here this season. Bullpen is copy and pasted to last year, with one exception. Brustar Graterol is in place of Taylor Rogers, who left in free agency. I like Graterol a lot. Great control, great movement. His pitches aren't good, but I can live with that. We signed him to a 3-year, $6.75 million contract with a team option prior to year 3. And then our other big free agent signing, Mikiko Watanabe, is unfortunately on the IL to start the season. He is getting paid $6 million this year to be our closer. Just rounding out really quick, the where are they now? I didn't learn my lesson. Ryan Jeffers is still unsigned. Hey, dude, you want to come back on a minor league deal? No. Worth a shot. Ryan Jeffers is still unsigned, which little awkward, but what can you do? Taylor Rogers signed with the Pirates on a 1-year, $1.2 million deal, and they've promised him the closer role. Interesting. So he goes to the Pirates to, I guess, be their closer. In real life, or not in real life, in my Rockies rebuild, Paul Skeens picked up Tommy John and he became their closer, which is just an insane outcome. Really is. So that was the off season. I usually like to go through the off season in one fell swoop rather than break it up into little parts. So I think overall, we're definitely a better rotation with the addition of Framber Valdez. We're definitely a better bullpen with the addition of Brustar and Watanabe. A little awkward with some of the injuries. We are going to have to decide what we do with Pablo Lopez um, when he comes back from the IL. I'm going to send him on a rehab assignment, probably for 2 starts in AAA. And then we'll have to decide which of Zebby Matthews, Taj Bradley, or Mick Abel is going to get sent to AAA. So that'll be that. I think the lineup is improved with Adley Rushman coming in to catch. I am pretty nervous, though, about how Matt Wallner will look in right, if Kalen Culpepper is ready to be our everyday shortstop. Trey Morgan at DH is going to be a heck of a time, but his bat looks pretty good. So I'm excited for him. Team chemistry wise, we have 2 captains, Royce Lewis and Owen Miller, 2 leaders, Mick Abel and Trey Morgan, and then 2 outspoken players in Cody Clemens and Mikiko Watanabe. Where our team sits right now on the league rankings, Rushman 11th at catcher, Keishel 15th at first, Brooksley 24th at second, Royce Lewis 15th at third, Culpepper 20th at short. That's higher than I thought. Walker Jenkins dead last and left at 30. Bruxton 3rd at center, Wallner 9th and right. Pitching, Valdez 13th, Brustar 6th in relief, and then Watanabe 15th as our closer. So looking pretty good. I am so excited to get next year going this season. I'm going to have another stream tomorrow, the 7th. I know YouTube is a little bit behind, so I'm trying to get those uploads out at a decent pace. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, if you're on Twitch, please give me a follow. Subscribe if you so desire. YouTube, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe. Let's keep it moving. I'm excited to get started year 2 with the Twins. See you then.